invite Mr. Victor Legere to come forward, please. Here tonight. Okay. Well, then I will just share with the audience and with the board this evening that Mr. Legere has been recognized as Connecticut Art Education Association's 2015 Connecticut Outstanding Secondary Art Educator Award for significant contributions to the field of art education. This is the largest professional organization representing Connecticut's not only visual art and museum educators, but anyone in art education across the state. The awards honor exemplary art educators each year, and candidates pass through a peer nomination and selection process that is both highly competitive and rigorous. Mr. Legere will be recognized at the CAEA Awards Dinner, which will be held this Sunday, April 26th, at the Country Club in Farmington, Connecticut. This is an outstanding recognition to be given to a teacher in Torrington Public Schools. And I would just like to remind you that Mr. Legere was Torrington's Teacher of the Year, I think like 2 or 3 years ago. So he is just an amazing teacher, and we're very fortunate to have someone of his caliber here working with our students. And for all the music teachers in the crowd, would you please come forward? And first of all, thank you for coming this evening, and for once again having Torrington recognized as an outstanding music education program in the United States, 15 years in a row. Never heard of, never be touched again, and you'll continue to go on. But I got a great call last Monday, from a parent who was walking with you in DC. And this man usually is very tough and very critical. And I think he was choked up with tears in telling me how incredible the high school band was when they were in Washington, D.C., from their performance, from their how they presented themselves. And I think, I'm going to go back to my elementary roots, but I know we have a phenomenal program at the high school, but it isn't for all the elementary and middle school teachers who start, and you know, I think pardon?
They deserve all the credit.
Yeah.
There's a term for that, isn't there? Yes.
But Wayne, would you like to please, as the coordinator for the whole music program here in Torrington?
Well, the best community award is out of 13,000 school districts across the country. 388 were selected for the award. We are one of 13 in the state to have won it this year. We are the only one in the state to have won it 15 times. We are only one of 2 school districts across the country to receive it 15 times. School districts like West Hartford, the Cantons, Cheshires, Westports, they all receive it, but we've received it more times. So that's due to the community support, the Board of Education support, the parent support, and most importantly, the kids. Because without them, you know, we wouldn't have any of this. But it's really an impressive thing to receive this award that many times over those other communities that have, you know, a lot more money, a lot more resources, yet we've won it more. And I've gotten phone calls from many of them saying, how does Torrington keep doing this year after year after year? And I say we have outstanding support from all levels for music education. So on behalf of all the music teachers, on behalf of the parents, and most importantly, again, the students, we thank you for your support of music education.
Well, in Washington, there was other bands that came around the corner that played, and I go back to the movie Drumline. That was you know, that one instructor said, you will play classical marching band music, and everybody else wanted to play hip-hop. And all the bands coming down the street were playing Beyonce and Bruno Mars, and their lines weren't straight, the kids were, you know, out of step, the music was soft. There was a band, unfortunately, right in front of Torrington. There was, Dunkin' Donuts was in there with a little
Dunkin'
cup
Donuts
truck.
truck was support.
But there was a band, you couldn't hear that band, because the Torrington High School band muffled that band when they came around a corner. And most of the bands only played 3, maybe 4 times in the entire 10-block route. But these guys played on a single cadence instead of stretching it out, and it was a patriotic, traditional marching band song, which you didn't hear from the other groups. John was there. And they came down, they were loud, they were in line, they were in step, they were everything we yell at them at every parade about, and they came down that street perfectly.
You've been really proud of the kids. 105 kids down in DC. They were not an issue at all. They got to the parade. They saw 250,000 people. And at the end of the parade, they were overcome with emotion. The magnitude of what they've done. They represented not only Torrington High School, but the city of Torrington as a whole on a national stage. You ought to be very proud of those kids. They did an amazing job.
And the Michigan band, the band that brought up the tail, is a 270-member band, high school band from Michigan. Not from Detroit, they're actually from 35 minutes north. We ended up, the last spot I saw you guys in was standing with that family, that parent group. And they brought 230 kids with them for a week. When they came down the street, you know, they had a very good performance, but the only thing that the woman said, she said, I'm glad because they select someone to play at the end of the parade, but that's selected in advance. And she said she was glad they selected it in advance because they wouldn't have gotten it. And that was from she was the principal of their high school. It was a good note.
Kids are really hard to be proud of.
Congrats.
I saw 2 children in church last Sunday, and they came up to me and they said that was a chance of a lifetime. They can't think, you know, that anything that will surpass that.
I told them high school band doesn't get better than that. Moments like that. So we'll be having pictures and videos on our website, thhsmusic.net, over the next week or so.
And work with Bob to get it on the TV. But thank you, all of you, because we didn't start at the beginning, and if we didn't do those executive functions in kindergarten, I can't wait to see the marchers 10 years from now. But thank you, Wayne, thank you, all of you, very, very much. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you're all invited tomorrow night to the district band concert. It's 400 students in grades 5 through 12. Everything from hot cross buns on up. So. All right, thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
The current members' equity distribution to the city and Board of Ed was $58,134. Apparently that doesn't happen every year, so that's kind of a windfall. And we're in the risk-sharing pool. The Kerma Connecticut Interlocal Risk Management Agency insures Torrington Public Schools, and we've been doing business with them for quite some time. We have a very good relationship with them, and I think it's great. I don't know what else to say beyond that. Yes, it did. It is on the revenue page, and I took the liberty of, I think, splitting it down the middle. I don't know how that equitably, if that worked out, but so. Yeah, take what we can get.
In your packet, you saw an invitation from the Torrington Veterans Support Committee inviting all the members of the Board of Education to the honor of your presence and participation in this year's Memorial Day Parade. And the parade will take place, rain or shine, on Monday, May 25th, with stepping off at 9:30 a.m. And in it, it states who to call to say if you can participate. So they've asked the Board of Ed to participate. Or if you'd like, you can let Michael know and he'll send in one response. And just one last sheet, you saw the information and the four-year adjusted cohort graduation rate for Torrington Public Schools. And I have to say that I'm very happy about that for this year. For all students, the graduation rate was 87.6, so up a little bit from last year. Males, 86.6%, females, 88.7%. Of our free and reduced population, it was 80.2%. English language learners, 100%. Students receiving special education support, 78.6%. And then you can see on the right-hand column, the breakdown by groups as how the state looks to see how we're doing by different racial and cultural groups. So we're still climbing, and may we continue to climb with our graduation rate. Yes?
Do we track, I'd be curious to see, based on the program that we're doing, what the percentage of kids are that graduate that aren't free and reduced lunch, ELL, or SPED? Do we track that percentage?
Well, and they include, this is from the state.
Right, no, but
This is how the state does it.
We look at how are we doing for our population that don't fall under free and reduced lunch, ELL, or SPED as a percentage.
We can look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be interesting to see because, I find, it's good, but we're graduating 100% of English language learners, and I think a lot of money and focus has went into that over the last couple of years. I just would like to make sure that that's being spread across the board and that equally our regular ed students are graduating the same percentages that these other subgroups are.
Okay, but okay, because the free and reduced are regular ed too, the male and female, it's everybody. But yeah, we can see if they're not free and reduced. Is that what?
Yeah, just kind of all the kids that don't fall into these categories here.
Three specific categories identified. What about the kids that don't fall into those categories?
Right.
Okay.
I'd just be curious, are they at 60, are they at 90, where do they fall in the mix?
The problem is, we'll just do a simple head count.
Yeah.
Because the way the state does it, they have a formula that they use and all that, so we'll just say, okay, we have out of the number that graduated, say 30 didn't fall in one of these three categories. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Question. On this report, it says cohort count 258. That's 258 seniors.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look at the Torrington High School enrollment document you give us here, and over the last 3 years, I don't see any class that actually had 258. I see 12th grade, 244, 245, 247, 245. So I'm just trying to figure out what class that would have been in. Why these numbers don't correspond with the 258 for this 14-year class.
Like I said, these numbers are state numbers. They're taken off of data that we have in our Power School system. This, this is as of probably an October 1st date. This year, between between January and February, we had 23 students move away. So our numbers are constantly changing within the building. It's hard to get, say, you know, not everybody who starts in August is the same graduating class in June. So, but they pull their numbers when they want to pull them. I report the numbers every month just so that the board is aware of how our numbers can change.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Seta?
You're up.
You're up.
The document you have in your agenda items there, we're looking back at history here. This is a March 4th document. This is just an information sharing that, just to show you, this is part of the solar project. And what this is saying that, basically what happens with this document, it begins when we start our capital estimate. And then we go back to that painstaking board of approval. We have to get all the right language in there, and that you're approving the project for such and such an amount. And then we take it to the city council, and then they also do the same thing for us. And after all those procedures are taken care of, what we've done is we've been going to the local review, which has been working very well for us for the past few projects that we've been taking to the state to get reimbursement from. And the local review allows us to move a lot faster than waiting for the state to put it in their docket and wait for a queue. We have the building department, the fire marshal, the local health official, and the local federal 504 official. They all have to review the plans, and if we have to make changes to them, we know at that point where we can, if we have to do any upgrades or changes there before they approve it. They have a complete checklist, and once all that is complete and we have a stack of papers about this thick, we bring it to the state, they review it, and then they send us this document to allow us to go out to bid. And that's basically the long and short of it. So the project has already been out to bid, and we're hoping to start it this spring. Once again, this is the solar project. Okay.
So we need essentially 3 separate executive sessions. This one. Okay. All right. What's that? All right, we're going to move into 3 separate executive sessions. The first one, can I get a motion to go into executive session, inviting in the superintendent to discuss the grant writer contract?
I move that we go into executive session and invite the superintendent to discuss the grant writer contract.
Second.
Second by Dan. Discussion? All those in favor? He's already beaten us to the punch, aren't you? Yeah. Where do you want to stay?